It's always packed. It's a fucking cool thing because it's a new thing. It's like very exciting. And the town, it's such an artsy town. I mean, the live music here is fucking amazing. There's so many talented people. There's this band, the Nether Hour. There's really talented young guys that are here, and they're just working all the time. They're at this bar this night and this bar that night. And this guy, Ellis Bullard, who's fucking amazing, is like honky tonk dude who's really fucking good and really cool guy too. He's out here, and then Gary Clark Jr.'s out here, and now Suzanne Santo moved here from Honey Honey, and she's here, and it's like, and there's so many good local bands that you could, like, on any given night, like on Monday night, they go out to the Continental Club after they do Kill Tony, and all the local guys get together and jam, and it's incredible. It's like the vibe of like live performances here.
Do you still love comedy as much as you did in like the 1990s?
More. Yeah, I love it. Yeah.
I got that vibe being in the green room with you guys. I got the sense like we could literally be in 1998 right now, and Joe would be doing like the same thing with different comics around.
Yeah, and the fact that there's like this energy to this place too makes it more exciting. You know, and also I'm in this part where I'm just developing new material. So it's like now I have to like really be invested in trying to make these new bits work. It's like when you get together an hour and you're headlining and it's killing, it's like, okay, now I just got to keep this polished and tight. But when you have new stuff, it's like, like I got to figure out a way to make this work. And that's exciting too.
So what percentage, because some of the jokes were older jokes, but what percentage of it was new stuff, would you say last night?
Was half.
Yeah. Half new stuff?
Half of it was new.
That's a lot of new stuff.
Yeah.
That's a lot of new stuff.
Yeah, and that's over the last 4 or 5 months that I've developed all that new stuff. So it's exciting. It's dangerous because like when you record, and I recorded something, I haven't released it yet, but when I record something, I then have to throw all that material away and come up with a whole new hour. So what I do is I record, and then in the time before I release it, that's like crunch time where I have to develop a whole new set. And then when I release a special, then that material's burnt forever. And so now I have to like figure out how to make this new stuff as good as the old stuff.
I feel like riffing when you're talking feels a lot easier to me than like writing something down and then trying to go through it in a way. Because if I write something down and I try to go through it, I feel like I start sounding robotic, and I'm not connecting to it as well.
Yeah.
So when I riff, that's when people are more interested in what I'm saying, because you could hear that it actually is coming from my core as I'm saying it. Yeah. So that's what seems very difficult about comedy to me, is that because you always talk about how you write, and so like you have to write down your bits, and then you have to deliver it in a way that doesn't feel robotic, that feels like you're still connecting with the words.
Yeah.
And so I was like, Tony said last night, he's like, I don't even write. He said, I don't even write my bits.
Yeah,
and to
Tony
me, I feel
does
like
it differently than
if
me.
I was a comedian, I'd be more like him, because if I write it down, I'll be like, and then this is the part of the joke where, like, it just wouldn't come out.
Right, but you don't have to say it that way. Like, I think everybody does it differently, and some people don't ever write, and some of the best comics alive don't ever write. But I feel like you should do all those things. I feel like comics are inherently lazy. And
it's a funny sentence.
This thing, but that's one of the reasons I let them do comedy. They're like, I don't want to work. Fuck this. Fuck this job. And then you like say something funny about the job, and everyone's like, and then you're like, oh, maybe I'm funny. Well, that sort of rebellious mentality leads you to not want to be disciplined. But I think there's a big value in sitting in front of a computer and just spending time going over ideas. Like some of my best bits I've come up with just writing, just sitting down and writing and then piecing them together. And then the skill is to try to figure out a way to riff those concepts and get it to the point where it's funny.
Do you see a big difference day to day in terms of your delivery? Like some days we go up there and just be like, I'm just off today. Like I'm not nailing it today. And other days you're like, oh, I'm cranking it right now.
For sure. Yeah, there's days where you're better. But it's like you got to figure out, well, what was different about the day when I was off? Maybe I didn't get as excited. Maybe I didn't pace enough and warm up enough. Maybe I didn't like treat it with a lot of weight. Like you got to like, there's a lot of heaviness to like going on stage. Like, here we go. And then you also have to be like looser on stage sometimes. And it's like there's a lot of variables, which is why it's exciting.
Do you feel like more pressure the better? The more pressure you feel, the better you do?
You need some pressure. Yeah, you need some pressure.
That's interesting.
I get nervous for every show.
That means
show.
you love it.
Yeah.
Tiger Woods said that. He's like, yeah, I get nervous before every round, and that's how I know I still love it.
Yeah, that's what fighters say too. Like, but fighters say the worst feeling is like when you're not nervous. Because if you're not nervous and you go, and some of them are fine with that, but a lot of them, they want to be on edge. They want to be like in the green room getting ready, like,
yeah, yeah.
You know, because then the nerves and everything is you're excited about this moment, and it's an important moment for you, and that's important.
You know you care.
Yeah,
you know you care.
Yeah, you
in a situation
care.
like that.
You
Yeah,
gotta care, and people don't like to be uncomfortable, but I think through being uncomfortable, that's where the growth comes. That's where you learn things.
Yeah. Well, after you feel nervous, and then you do the thing and you do it well.
Yeah.
The feeling of relief you get afterwards
Yeah.
is amazing.